All right, so in this clip, you guys can see we're very timid at the catch. We get up there, we're kind of like, I think I'll put my blade in. Like, y'all got to get up there and, like, get that blade in.
Remember that slight lift?
Be more confident at the catch. Well, this is our first start. It's a little messy. That's okay.
Linda, bury it. There you go.
Make sure that we're buried when we're sitting up there at attention, and then when we hear attention, we slightly buried a little bit more, so we raise our hands. All right, Z and Shreya, you guys are not pulling all the way into your bodies. You can see it clearer in this clip. This is our second practice start. Still half press, half speed. Make sure those blades are buried. So Z, you're kind of finishing way before you get into your body. You too, Shreya. Use whatever strength you need to in your upper body to get that blade in. You got to have a strong finish, and that strong finish needs to be into the body. All right, Marion, your legs are a little bit too relaxed here. And we have that full compression for the start. Try and keep your knees a little bit more together and your back a little bit better posture. You too, Shreya, sit up, really also sit up. And then Beth, a little bit more compression when you're at the start there. Sanchez, you have a good speed on everything, but it's a little bit frantic. So try and stay a little bit more composed. And then Linda, watch out for your hands coming up out of the finish. Most of the time you have a pretty good tap down, but when you come in, make sure your hands aren't coming up out of the finish. Occasionally on starts, when we're at higher rates, you tend to do that, and then you drop your hands at the catch. So just remember that level handle heights throughout the recovery and throughout the drive. This start looked really good. We did a high five as well. You guys are moving pretty well here. You're moving the boat, that's for sure. Beth, make sure we're getting that full compression. You want that outside shoulder to pivot through to be between your knees up at the catch. Get that full compression, get that full length. I paused this clip here so that you can see, look at Marion and Sanchez and how their kind of outside shoulders are between their legs up at the catch. Shreya's as well. That's how we get that full length, but we don't want to do that by dropping our outside shoulder. If that doesn't make sense, come talk to us, but hopefully that demonstrated it a little bit. Sanchez, make sure we are squaring up early and matching up well with Beth. You guys match up pretty well most of the time. Just make sure we're both being consistent with it, because if we're not consistent, then it's much harder to follow your guys' speed that you're setting. But also, bow 6, make sure that you're not early on your stern pair. Always got to be focusing on timing. Looking down the boat here, you can see that we're not consistent with our handle heights, and that's part of the reason that set is a little bit all over the place here. So looking down the boat, looking at handle height, sometimes starboards are dropping their hands at the catch, sometimes ports are dropping their hands at the catch, sometimes starboards are finishing higher, sometimes ports are finishing higher. We just need to make sure that we're constantly, as a crew, being consistent with our movements. If we make an adjustment, we keep that adjustment for 10 strokes minimum. If it doesn't work, we try something else. Linda, watch out for that dig. It's pretty evident here. You two, Z. Both of y'all need to keep your hands a little bit lower on that drive. Careful of not skying your blade, Marion. At times, you drop those hands at the catch and you're skying the blade. Looking down the boat, I think everybody's heads are fairly consistent, but something that we talked about a lot on Sunday was trying to be controlled and composed. One of the ways that we do that and set ourselves up for success is making sure our heads and our necks are not swaying and pivoting and moving and being inconsistent. If you guys look at Naomi's head here and Shreya's as well, they're very, very still. Their heads are not looking out of the boat. They're not looking around. They're not going side to side. They're not going back and forth. Their heads are very, very level, very consistent. That helps us with consistency. That helps us with being controlled and composed. And that helps us keep our bodies on that center line so that we can pivot around them in order to get to the catch, and so that we can stay composed at the finish and come out nice and clean. This was the start of the last piece we did. The start looked pretty good. You guys were moving that boat. I think the power did fall off a little bit, but that's okay. It was really hot outside. You had 2 members of the boat who'd already done this practice earlier that day, so that's okay. Z, make sure we're not early here. Also can see that dig pretty evident in this video as well. We've been working a lot on getting backsplash with our catches, getting nice aggressive entrances with all blades into the water. I want to see some more backsplash from you guys in this boat. You all can do it. I've seen you do it. So let's get some focus on aggressive catches, not dramatic, but aggressive catches into the water together on time, because I think that's going to just put all of the power that you guys have in this boat to much more effective use. And Beth, in this video, you can kind of see what I had called out on Sunday about not being fully square on some strokes going into the water. Don't let that water bully you. Be fully square, even if it's down to your side. Doesn't matter. You got to be fully square. Use that inside hand and get that blade square. It goes for everybody. We've got aggressive catches, but it's happening after we kind of have this split-second wait. When we're at the catch, we get up there, we wait a second, then we put it in. So Sanchez, Linda, you guys are a little bit more of a culprit, as well as Naomi in this video. So get up there, get those blades in. The timing looks good, but we got to be quicker at the catch. Z, I could use a little bit more layback from you, so bring your shoulders back a little bit until you feel those abs engage at the finish. You'll get a little bit more length out of your stroke that way. Trio, watch out that our hands are not coming up out of the finish. You want them to come down slightly, if anything.